Welcome back everybody to Life Post Stroke. My name is Dave Hayes, and this is the channel where I put pretty much everything that doesn't make it to my main channel, Hayes Tech. I created this channel a while ago as sort of a secondary channel for me to talk about my stroke issues, because for those of you that have just joined the channel, you did join the channel because of some of the stroke videos that I put out. Just to do a real quick refresh, I had 2 strokes. My first stroke was about 3 years ago. My second stroke was about a year after that. And it's almost 3 years now since my first stroke. And I've gone a year and a half without having another stroke, so I think we figured the situation out. Thank goodness. What I wanted to do is I wanted to make this video on my brand new Recording King RD328. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace the strings on it, and I'm going to do some other stuff, okay? Stuff you would normally do when you purchase a new guitar. If you spend the money on like a Martin or a Gibson, you don't have a lot of setup to do. That's not to say there is no setup. But when you purchase a guitar for this price, which is a little under $800, tax and all, you may probably have to do certain things. Lower your bridge height, to get to where you want to be. Maybe, smooth out the fret ends, things like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you guys along with me, and I'm going to show you what this sounds like before we start, and what it sounds like set up and with a brand new set of strings. Because remember, the strings that are on this guitar are probably over a year old. My guess is older than that. So when we come back, we're going to go ahead and set this guitar up and throw some new strings on it, and then listen to what it sounds like. So don't go away. And as always, if you liked my video, don't forget to hit that like button and share my videos. It really helps me out. And if you're new to the channel and you like what you saw, think about subscribing. And if you subscribe, don't forget to hit that notification bell icon. That way you get a notification of my videos as soon as I release them. Alright, so I figured the first thing I would do is I would let you guys hear what this guitar sounds like. Now, as you guys can see, I have my camera set over here so you can see the guitar. The only thing I did to it was add this extended armrest, and it gives you a rounded corner so it doesn't cut into your arm as much. And it's only stuck on the guitar with 3M tape, so it's not permanent. It will not damage the guitar or anything like that. So if I want to take it off, it's not going to hurt the guitar. I kind of like it. It really feels good, but I do want to do some work on it. I want to try to use some files and smooth out the edges, kind of make everything match. So I'll put some masking tape around the guitar so I don't mess up the guitar, and I'll just file down to the masking tape, sand it off, and that'll be good for me. I did want to talk about string height. Now, my string height gauge is basically a micrometer, and Noah has that. He's going back to school today, and they're going to be working in shop in the machining class, and I actually gave that to him so he had something to use for himself, a machining tool. So what I'm using is my Allen wrenches, and the Allen wrenches that I found, the sizes that actually are set for this, that just go under the low E string. 7/64. Now 7/64 is just a hair tight. It pushes up on the low E string, and the 3/32 Allen wrench goes under it, and I mean, I could just tap the string and feel just a hair of play in it. I was going to pull the saddle and shave the saddle down to drop the string height, but I'm not going to touch it. I'm leaving it right where it's at. That is about where I like it. You get them strings too low, you're going to end up getting buzzing. So I'm leaving it right where it's at, especially with my stroke. Having stroke, I tend to hammer on the strings a little more because I don't have much control over my right hand, and it just makes sense to leave it where it is. Now, I do know that a lot of people would actually want that a little bit lower. Myself, I think it's fine. So, what else did I want to go over? Oh, I want you guys to hear this before we start, okay? So you guys can hear what that sounds like. I will play it after we get the strings on it. Okay, again, I'm not going to try to make this thing perfect. I was going to play it with the other pick, but you know what? This is the pick that I can actually control. So what do you say we go ahead and get into changing the strings on this? Okay, so what do you say we go ahead and get started now? Again, I left you here what it sounded like. I'm going to take this tool right here. This is a string changing tool. It's got a pin puller here. It's got a pair of snips, and it has a winder for winding your peg heads. And again, I'm not going to cut these. Normally I would just snip them off. Okay, there we are. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull the pins. Now I want to keep them separated so I know where they go back. It's a good idea because you never know. They may actually be a different size. You know, the holes all may be a little different. I don't know, but I'm going to keep them separate. That's nice. Whenever you can pull these pins out without using a tool, that's nice. Okay. Now, I also will be doing something to the pins, and I'll try to show you here. I'm going to file them so they have a slant in them. That way they go past the ball heads, and it actually looks like somebody filed a little slant on it already, but I usually do a little bit more than that, so we'll be doing that before we put the new strings on. But there you have it. I'm going to pull the high E string out first, and then I'm going to wrap these separately. The fretboard looks really nice. I don't see any imperfections in it. I did get a razor in case I was going to scrape it, and I may actually do that. We'll see. Yeah, it's not even making a difference. So normally I would take a razor, and that's what I do with the Epiphone. The Epiphone had gunk built up on it since the 1960s. And I went through, scraped it. You have to do it. It's because it's radiused. You can't just scrape flat. But this one, I've tried to clean the very top one, and nothing changes. So it's good. It's good to go. And I don't feel any Now, I do want to work on the fret ends while it's here. And again, I wish I had a fret nut. I don't. That is the next thing I'm going to order. So what I'm going to do is just get a flat file and be very careful with it. To be honest with you, it's not going to take much. Not much at all. I just want to get anything that might seem a little sharp. Actually nice. You know, I mean, they did a nice job right from the factory, I'm telling you. That's it. I'm done. I'm not going to mess with that anymore. All right. Get this back in frame. I already know it's just got a real, very slight back bow, which is what you want. Because once we put tension back on, okay, the neck, instead of being straight, okay, like this, what you don't want is up bow, okay? Right now it has a little bit of back bow, so it's not like it's angled back, but it's kind of, it's got a little hill in it, and I mean slight, very slight. And what happens is when you put your strings on and you start tensioning them up, it pulls that up nice and straight, okay? And kudos to the people who set this guitar up, because they did a freaking phenomenal job. That's all I got to say. The bridge height looks good. Saddle is good. Like I said, saddle, everything's set up nice hearing. I went and checked intonation the other day on the guitar, actually last night. Intonation is almost right on. Sounds good. Intonation sounds good to my ear. It looks good on the on my tuner. So, you know, it is what it is. Now's the time to clean your guitars. When you change strings, you have no strings in your way. Now's the time to do it. So I'm going to do a real quick polish. And when I say quick, I do mean quick and dirty, because I already polished this guitar, so it does not need a lot of work. Okay. Also, guys, do not use liquid wax. If it's got any kind of silicones in it, don't use spray wax. Something you would use on furniture and stuff, unless it says it is for wood, okay? If it's got any kind of silicones or anything like that in, it will really mess up your finish. Paste wax, in my opinion, is the best wax to use on a guitar. And also, in my opinion, when you put paste wax on a guitar, it makes the guitar sound better. That's just my opinion. I've always found that after I waxed my guitar, it really sounded good. I don't know what it is. Okay, let me grab a good buffing towel. I like to use these hand towels. They work so nice. They're nice and fluffy. It's not going to scratch it. But constantly move the rag around. Wow, does that look nice. Now, I do have a buffer. I could go over this with a buffer. I'm not going to do that. This thing looks phenomenal the way it is. I'm just giving it a quick buff because I can. Strings are off. I'm going to go ahead and get the top. I will wax the sides later, and the reason that is because the strings are going to be there and I won't be able to access the top. So while the strings are off, I want to access whatever I can now. So let's go ahead and get the top. Oh, you guys, in case I didn't say earlier, this I put on, and that's a piece of ebony, and what that does is it gets rid of that sharp edge on my arm. I'm just trying it. I also got a ebony pick guard, but I don't know if I'll be putting it on. It's a little bit smaller than the pick guard that's on here. So I'm just going to leave that on. Also, I just wanted to also mention, do not put wax on your pick guards. Pick guards have been known to start deforming, discoloration, all kinds of crazy stuff with waxes, paste wax, whatever. I just don't use it on my pick guards, okay? You don't need it. Again, you want to move the rag around continuously. And remember, this is just stuck on with 3M double stick tape, you know, so I can take it off anytime I want. Make sure I get anything off the bridge that I might have got on it. Where the strings go, because it's going to be hard to get this once there are strings on it. Alright, I'm done with the wax. I'll get the neck later. And I may not even wax the neck. I don't know. But I will get the sides of the guitar later. Now, I did notice that the nut is definitely glued in pretty good. So, it's not trying to come out. Now, normally when I glue on a nut, I only use a drop of glue on the inside, okay? And I'm not gonna have you guys watch me wax this whole thing. So once I'm done, I'll bring you guys back when I go ahead and start putting the strings on. Man, this is gonna be a long video. I'm gonna try to edit this down quite a bit. So let's go ahead and get our strings on it. Now, I like to put a little bend, a little pre-bend in my string, and I mean just slightly. Okay, and I'm not sure if you guys can see up here how I do this. But what I basically do is I point this sideways. Okay, hole's going like this. Now, I want it tight. Normally I would give myself 4 fingers of slack, but I want it tight. And what we are going to do wrap it once. Once around, like 1.5 times. So it's once around, and then pull it back through the hole, like this. Now, when you get to the lighter strings, you want to do it a little more than 1.5, okay? that. That way, when I go to start winding it, it is going to already be somewhat tight. Okay, and then what I do now is take my little nippers, nip off the end. Okay, string number 2. I'm going to go for the high E. I like to work back and forth. I'm not going to show you guys all of this, but the way I do this one now, it's the same way, but you've got to wrap it around the post more, okay? Because this is a very thin string, and you want to make sure that it's not going to slip and come undone for you. So, again, I will put just a slight little, slight little curve in that. Grab the pin that I have designated for the end pin, or the high E. There we go. Okay. Same thing. What I'm going to do is bring that so that it's facing this way. That it just helps me to know where the hole is at. And then I'll show you guys, I'll put this one on and then I'll bring you back once I get all the strings on, because I'm not going to show you me doing this to all of them. Okay, again, the low E string is just a little different because it's a much thinner string. So, now you want to make sure you wrap it in the right direction. So we're going around the post this way. 1, 2, 3. Now I go around it 3 times and then take it back through the hole to focus on the camera. Pull through and up. Okay, and now we tighten it. Sometimes I wonder if it's just not easier to do it the old-fashioned way. But there you go. Tighten it up on the post. Good. Go ahead and snip it off, and then I will bring you back. I like to pull it straight up, put a bend in it, and then cut it off as close to the post as I can. Now, I will say this. When the company put strings on it, they did a beautiful job, because what they did basically was they stuck it in the hole and it never came out the other side. They did it the old way. They put a little bend in it, put it in the post, and then they started winding it while somebody held tension on it back here and wound it up the post that way. And also, you should actually, and this is how I used to do it in the old days, I used to do the same thing. I'd put a little bend in it, put it through, and then as I was winding it, I would wind it first, one below, and then when the string got around, the little end sticking out got around, then I would switch to above, and then I would wrap the rest of them above. That way it would lock it in there, but as long as you get more than one stinking wrap on there, you're gonna be good. Especially on the low strings, you want at least on the high E, 3 wraps. 3.5 is good. Even on the next one up, number 5 I call it, I usually go 3.5. Now on the third one up, it's usually wound. I usually go like 3, okay? 2.5 to 3. The rest of them are all 2, 2 to 2.5, except for the low string, low E, that's always 1.5. Put it through the hole. So I'll bring you guys back when I have this strung up. Okay, well, I got her all put back together real quick. So basically, when you change the strings on your guitar, you definitely want to go through and check your setup, especially if it's a new guitar, okay? Now, in my case, I went with, I think, some lighter strings. I don't know what was on it, but they felt very, very heavy. I do not like heavy strings. I like a medium light to light gauge strings. I just like that sound. So that's what we went with on this, and I forget the number they are, and I forget that. I'll annotate it up here, what strings I used, and of course what the number or the gauge of the strings that I used is. This video was basically for me to show you guys how to get a guitar, like you purchased a guitar, and then what you need to do when you bring it home, put a set of strings on it, okay? You don't have to do everything I did when you put a new set of strings on, obviously, but when you first purchase a guitar, you should go through the steps that I went through. You want to check everything. And I'm going to tell you what, I was very happy with the setup from Recording King. Even when I actually got my fret rocker and my fret filing tool last night, so that all came in the mail. And to be honest with you guys, I did not do any more filing to the frets on this guitar. They're that good. I just left them the way they are. And I showed you where the action was on this. And since I put the light strings on it, it's a little bit lower. So I got to be careful I don't hammer it. So with that being said, what do you say we go ahead and listen to what this sounds like now with a good quality set of strings on it now? And again, I like to let the strings, give them time to set for a little bit, because when you first put a brand new set of strings on, they tend to stretch. They'll stretch and you got to keep tuning. I picked this guitar up this morning, tried it out, it was in perfect tune, so the strings are set. So let's hear what this guitar sounds like now with a new set of strings on it. Well guys, I cannot say enough good things about this guitar. You guys know me, I love Martin guitars, and that was my dream. My dream was to own a D28. I always wanted a D28 or the newer one that's got the scallop bracing, or an older one actually, one of the older HD28s that actually has that scallop bracing in it. But it really wouldn't matter to me. Even if it didn't have the scallop bracing, I wanted a Martin D28, and I cannot afford $3,000+ I think they're around 28, between 25 and 2,800 depending on where you go. You can count tax, shipping, all that crap in there. You're looking at about $3,000. I don't have that kind of money. I just don't have it. Even this guitar costs tax and all, shipping, everything, about right just shy of $800. That's a lot of money for me, a ton of money for me. But what I'm getting for that, you know, 750 plus shipping and tax is phenomenal. I'm getting a solid rosewood back and side guitar. This is, of course, the East Indian or Indian rosewood. It's got that solid Adirondack spruce top on it. And of course, it's got the binding that it looks just like it come right off of the D28. Binding on the back. It's got that purfling, or it's got that binding in the center strip on it. They did a phenomenal job. I love the Grover open back tuners. That's my favorite, open back tuners. Waverly makes a great set. But I do like the set that came on this. Of course, that brand is also great. Plus, again, since this sharp edge was bothering me, I put this ebony strip of wood that I got from Amazon that came with a pick guard. Now I had to do some hand filing, you know, to finish that off, but it feels great now. I don't get that cut on my arm, so kudos to that product. That's it, guys. I just wanted to show you how to set up a guitar for the first time when you first purchase a guitar, to check it out, make sure everything's okay. And again, this thing passed with freaking flying colors, so kudos to Recording King for that, which I had no doubt they would be a good guitar. I can highly recommend them. Guys, don't forget, whenever I hit 5,000 subs on my other channel, Hayes Tech, I'm going to be giving away that camera right there that you're looking at me on right now, which is my Canon T6i. So don't miss that. Head on over to my other channel, subscribe, and be looking for that giveaway as soon as I hit 5,000 subs. So, with that being said, I just want to thank each and every one of you for checking out this channel and watching my video of me setting up my new guitar. That's all I have. I will see you guys on the next one.